Hello everyone! After a couple of videos, 30-second time lapses of the progress of my village to city, I thought today would be a good moment to just kind of walk you through my city, give you some insights on my decisions, why I did the things I did, and maybe sort of enlighten you on what's coming next. I also have some questions and things that I'm not too certain about, so you might be able to help me out. Well, let's see. Maybe I just zoom out first and show you the entire map. I made it in the map editor. It's nothing special. It's almost entirely flat, has a meandering river taking up one corner, and for the rest, it's just you can not even see them really, but it just has some real soft rolling hills, so that if there comes a time where the city is covering most of the map, then it'll be interesting to have a bit of elevation differences. Alright, let's see, maybe just start with the one and right now only entry exit point. This is one thing that I've been really proud of ever since I made the map. This took a shitload of time, by the way, because, well, this is City Skylines 1, and so you need a lot of patience and mods like Move It and Traffic President, Road Anarchy, just to name a few, to make this happen. But this is something you find a lot, especially in the European mainland, and it's a really efficient looking thing. I'm sure there's a name for it, but it eludes me right now. Anyway, here is the exit ramp and the on-ramp, and you know, they're relatively short. We're just going to assume that people will have plenty of time to get into the exit lane or respectively the entry lane and then just continue their journey. The little sort of bypass on the right, of course, is for those, you guessed it, who want to turn right. Then the one in the middle is for those who want to turn left, and you can only turn left, and that's why I use the, I think it's called ITMP or something, the intersection marking tool, which is a fantastic mod. So just to make clear that you can only turn left, and those from the other side can also only turn left. What else is there? Well, if you happen to come from the other direction, then you use the bypass on our left, because that would allow you to immediately, you guessed it, turn right onto the entry lane. It works the same on the other side in mirror, so no need to go over that. But yeah, I really like it, and it works like a charm. It's extremely efficient. I paused the game right now just to sort of make sure that I don't end up with a stuttering video, but I like it. I guess that's all you need to know for now. Then it continues as a 2-lane, meaning 1 lane in each direction. Sort of, it's not really a highway. Especially in countries like Germany and France, you find this a lot. They are like rural expressways, if you want. And so the kilometer speed here is 70, which would make absolute sense. And then at the end, I actually decrease it to 50, because that's also where you are entering city limits, first roundabout, to make sure that you actually stay off. And then there is a crossing that I need to take care of, by the way, that has no place being there. But okay. On our right, and this is exactly why that roundabout is placed where it is the industry / maintenance / utility area. There's a little sliver of park here that's going to stay. I might detail it in the future, but at the same time, if you want to grow your city, then my advice is to not fret too much over detailing. It might look nice in videos, but in the end, it's just going to be too big of a project. And the more detailing you do, the more frames per second it's going to cost you in the long run. So here is the entire industry section. This is where we make our money, so to speak. It's ugly, it's supposed to be ugly, and when you zoom out and look from above, it looks exactly like what you would see on Google Maps. Just lots of concrete and warehousing and ugliness. Here's our park and ride. So this is for people who just enter the city and they don't want to fight over finding a parking space in the city center. So they can park here and, well, let me just unpause the game. They can park here and then the bus will pick them up right here. And it makes a little circle there and then goes back onto the sort of rural street, so to speak. This section also, by the way, not a highway. It is officially in-game a highway, but this will be another sort of interconnecting expressway where people can drive 70 kilometers an hour up until they reach the next point of entry. Of course, there we are. I took this bus. I really like it. Yeah, it's just a really nice, good-looking bus. Oh, actually, this one blinks. I never seen that. Oh, it blinks on both sides. Whatever. What else is there? What else is there indeed? Well, let me just go to the city center. Let me zoom out first so you know where we are. This is as it is right now. It's growing extremely organically. Organically means whatever I feel like. There's no plan. It's just more of I need something, let me reserve this plot of land. And that's kind of how a lot of cities were built. But here's the old town, which in the very first episode didn't have that much sort of commercial mid-rise, which we see right here. This is already mid-rise in my town, by the way. 3 floors is already mid-rise. So I kind of extended that. But let's see, you come in at the decorated roundabout, right? There's a little market, sort of. We'll pretend there's a little market happening on the left. Nice little fire brigade. And yeah, it's all very oldie worldy, right? It's real quaint. No parking on this side because this is where our little city hall is. Isn't she cute? Put some flags out there. Maybe it's Pride Month. Maybe it's the colors of the city. I don't know. It's just something that works. So no parking there, but then I did mark the section where they are allowed to park on the left. Let's move a bit forward. There's a little church. It's supposed to be real old, and I added a graveyard there, which also acts a bit like a park. Do we have anyone walking? We do. That's good. And what else is there? I'm all over the map, am I? Well, like I said, this is the main street, and it's more like British and French shops, and they just seem to go so well together. So it's a really lovely little area. Don't ask me where this town is located. It could be anywhere within Europe. It could be a fictional place. It's definitely not in America. It's not in Asia. So we'll just have to go somewhere, some way in Europe. And yeah, I guess this would sort of constitute as the old core, and maybe at some point I might designate it as such, as the old city center. And then there's a park here, which is just lovely. It just works. Right. Before we go to the section that's behind the camera now, I just want to show the first extension parts. Where is that? Well, this used to be, by the way, the way this road is curved the way it is because this part used to be some sort of a park slash... Well, actually, it really wasn't anything. It was a lot of pastures. You know, I keep drawing pastures, and whenever I claim one to build another neighborhood, I just draw more at the horizon. So rather than putting myself through the chore of covering the entire map in pastures, I just keep adding as my city gobbles up. But anyway, this road here, with these awkward looking intersections, yeah, it used to be a footpath. It used to be a gravel footpath, and then I replaced it with this road, saying, well, at some point, you know, there's going to be development, and yeah, this is why the way it looks the way it looks, and this lawn here, or whatever it's supposed to be, that's just going to stay that way. There's not going to be any development. We'll just pretend it's, I don't know, belongs to those 3 little buildings. But I like it. It's quirky, and it's a strange sort of, yeah, it doesn't look right, and at the same time, because it doesn't look right, it looks absolutely fine. Right, so the extension part. Well, I first added these buildings, which are just fabulous Dutch, I think they're Dutch buildings, and the typical brick kind of thing. There are 3 of those, by the way, 1 in the middle, and then 2 at the corner. They just look right. It's just the kind of expansion that you would expect, and it forms, I don't know, it just looks really good opposite of the almost same height shops. So that works well. Then here we have a section that of first level, what do you call it? First level residential. And I expect that to somehow in the not so distant future to be changed into mid-rise buildings. So those people are going to be, well, they're going to have to live somewhere else. Because that's what happens with city centers, right? It's really rare to see something suburban, low-level residential in the heart of a city. So that's going to be gobbled up, and yeah, I really look forward to doing that, actually. Then there's this part here, which is just straight lines, and they being me, of course, decided just to build up north. And, you know, it was what I call the ugly years. I think it's my 3rd video, 30-second time-lapse video. Yeah, it's ugly, but it's functional. People have to live somewhere, right? And this is what kind of came out of it. Beautiful assets, Plattenbau, meaning, I actually don't really know how to translate it, but let's just say it's flat and ugly. Most of them you'll find in Berlin, and they just work really well for that grim 60s, 70s expansion look. I did add a little kindergarten and a dog park, so it's not all too bleak. But of course, it would still be massively dystopian to live here. What else do we have? Of course, more horrible Plattenbau. I mean, it doesn't get more depressing than this. God. But you know what? Many people do live this way, so yeah. They have a wonderful view and probably noise on the 6 windmills that are electrifying this gorgeous city. And the latest expansion is this part, and this is really just my Dutchness coming out, where is what we call V-necks, and it's just yeah, it's just let's just take a big pasture and then just add a shit ton of sort of similar yet different looking buildings, and this is what you would end up with. It works. I added some parking because this custom narrow road, which you can find on the workshop, which is really, really the one thing that was always missing, was a realistic road. I always thought the normal road, that's this one, I always thought it was much too wide. Of course, this one does provide parking on both sides. This one has 0 parking, but it just looks so much better, especially if you're in the early stages. A hospital, some parking on both sides, an excuse of I don't know, it's not even a park, just some greenery. Then there's a little school where I scooped out a couple of islands to also surround it with a bit of greenery, and just trying to not make the city, you know, too concrete and too paved over. It reminds me of that Joni Mitchell song, right? They ruined paradise and put up a parking lot, something like that. Anyway, let's see, there's a Rewe, there's a supermarket, and a cinema, also a Berlin asset, which really brings me back to my Berlin years. There's a Bauhaus, which is like Obi and Tome and any other DIY store. It's massive, provides a lot of jobs, and is exactly the thing that all of my villagers were gasping for. Then there is a park here, and I really wonder how long that's going to last. But we'll see. We'll stay optimistic for the time being. It's just at some point this is going to be pretty precious ground. So, yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll keep it. Maybe it becomes one of these things that you cannot, you just cannot chop it down because the city needs greenery, especially when this bit that I went over earlier is going to be developed. On the other side, we have something of an extension. I'll just go back to the other side of Main Street. Main Street is charming and curving and oldie worldy, right? And then there's a more, this is typically where they would take the ruler, so to speak, and just carve out an extension of it. There's a stern-looking office building with something of a mall, a sad mall on the left. It's more like an outlet store, right? I guess, sort of a. It's pathetic, and it's exactly what I was going for. Then there's a gas station, and these are buildings from the Ruhrgebiet in Germany. Oh, we actually have someone sitting up here. I never saw that. Look at that. What is she doing? Okay. Really beautiful assets. Work very well together. And I just really like what it turned into. Oh, this is a part that I did the other day. This was also a bit of a park, something low residential / park. And then I decided just to make it another block of the city center, make it some sort of a historic part. Nothing historic about it, but I added some graffiti and a little road leading to nothing. Added some trees and planters. This would then be new development, the 4 little sort of wannabe Dutch buildings. But it's charming, it's realistic, it looks overdeveloped. Those are beautiful assets. Really, really, really good work. They all work together. Of course, the only reason this looks the way it does is because of the Move It mod. Here I did something funny. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, you can turn to the right? But if you come from the other side, you cannot turn to the left. So, I don't know, you're fucked. But it did wonders for traffic. I guess they just end up clogging somewhere else. Okay, and then there is a big area here. This is just suburban hell. But, you need some of that. And I think this is also the last part to somehow become... I think this is going to be residential forever, because otherwise you would really have to take out the streets and, pave entire new sections. So I guess this will just stay. It sort of juts into the forest. And, I can never really make a forest look like a forest. The moment I add paths, it just starts ending up looking like it just looks like a park then, right? But the paths are too thick. I need narrower footpaths. So if anyone knows of an asset, of a road that I can use, let me know in the comments. Anyway, suburban hell, then this is probably going to sort of rise up again from this part on where the football field is. I guess I'm going to have higher buildings on that side. And I was thinking, should I have a train station on the left or not? Or should I have it on the right? Let me know in the comments what you think, because I cannot decide. Alright, last bit. I really like this building. I think it's in either Hamburg or Stuttgart. It's a really solid, modern looking office building. I don't like it in real life, but I like it in the game. What else is there? Sad residential stuff, suburban stuff, some office thingies right here that seem out of place, but that kind of works. Oh yeah, then there's my, what I like to call office park, which is where your soul goes to die. And it's as thrilling as one would expect it to be, but it works, and it looks onto what we just pretend is a defunct factory. I think it's actually a recycling plant. There's a... Oh look, they're floating. They weren't floating when I put them down. Okay, well, that's that. I also don't remember those trees there. But then there's this part, which for some reason I felt fancy, and I started heavily detailing it all. And it really does make a difference. I mean, I wish I could do it anywhere, but that would kill my computer. But it's just nice, you know, lush little... Well, as you are on your way to an ugly Plattenbau, at least you're walking through a lush little garden with God on your left hand. Yeah, so that works. Then there's a Real, which is a supermarket. There's what looks like a prison, but I think it's actually an elementary school. And then all of a sudden, you find yourself in the most picturesque countryside. Well, it works. There's going to be some expanding happening on this part. There's definitely something here. Don't know what to do with it yet. And of course, this seems to become a rather, I don't know, rather impressive looking part of the city. I already added a roundabout here. Yeah, we'll see where that goes. And that's just how my city keeps growing. I, at one point, definitely want to have a metro. I want to have more buses. I also want to have a tram. I really like trams in the game. As I said, either on the left or on the right side, I want to add a train station. And at some point, I would like to sort of dig out a very straight channel. What am I saying? Canal, sorry. That ends up in a little squarish looking harbor. So that would add a lot of industry and busyness to my city. Alright, that's where we are today. I'm just going to wrap up this video, post it online, and then I'll keep adding to my city. Real curious where this is going. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.